Good afternoon. I had every intention of wearing something nice for this vlog, making a bit of an effort, but it is so dismal outside. Oh my gosh, it is dreary. So I'm wearing my fluffy jumper because sometimes you just need to. I have got a fresh coat of tan on today. I'm feeling good. Actually, I'll show you the tan that I'm using because it's a new one that I've switched to and I really like it, so bear with me. This is the tan that I'm using. Don't know if you can try and get it to focus. There you go. It is the Saint Tropez Self Tan Express Bronzing Gel. Really like it. I am a huge fan of it. It's a gel and it's so moisturising. So before that I was using the Bondi Sands Express Tan and it's alright, but I don't know if any of you use it. It dries out so quickly and it can go quite patchy if you're not quick enough, and it really dries the skin out. It smells lovely, but yeah, and it looks lovely afterwards, but I just wanted to try something new. Now I haven't tried Saint Tropez in ages. I used to use Saint Tropez when I was like 18 and I used so much of it that I kind of went off it because it used to go really patchy. This one, I've been using it for probably a month now, maybe a bit longer, tanning every week, and it doesn't go patchy. It looks really nice and natural, at least I think it looks really nice and natural. And yeah, it's really hydrating. So if you're in the market for a new tan, this is the one I highly recommend. Now, that's not really what I came on to talk about. I thought that today I would talk about quitting Instagram. So I have quit Instagram. Not forever. I don't think it'll be forever anyway. And I hadn't really thought about how I'm going to tell people about this vlog if I've quit Instagram, but that's, I guess we'll just roll with it and see what happens. But yeah, at the weekend I quit Instagram. I logged out of my main account, so my Anna Gladders account, and I don't know when I'm going to go back. I probably will go back. It's not a quit forever, I don't think. It is just, at the moment, it just doesn't feel right to be on Instagram. I have been getting so overwhelmed with things and it's hard to explain really. But for a long time, I've been feeling like, what does Instagram actually give me? And the answer has just been stress. I know there's a lot of judgment about the way that people use Instagram and how people feel about Instagram, and a lot of people don't understand certain things. But yeah, I have just decided that for the time being, it is not the right place for me to be. And it's not because I'm not feeling particularly low in myself. I am not trying to protect myself from anything. I just feel like it isn't serving my goals at the moment. And for quite a while now, I've been feeling quite low about Instagram. I was speaking to my sister about it and I said, I am so happy in my life as it is at the moment. But as soon as I go on Instagram, I feel like it's not enough, and I just don't want to feel like it's not enough anymore. I just want to feel like I can be happy in my life without it needing to be defined by being able to create content. So that is basically the reason why. If you do follow me on Instagram, you will see that before I logged off, I did put up some stories about eating disorders and diet culture, and that's not something I'm going to go into now. It's not something that I really want to talk about now, but I think that it would probably be easy to think that that's a reason that I'm taking time off Instagram, and it's not. The reason I'm taking time off Instagram is actually because I'm ridiculously happy and I don't want to feel like I'm not good enough. I don't know how that's going to come across, to be honest. It's a tricky one to talk about, isn't it? Because I've always said that what keeps me going, what keeps me coming back to Instagram is taking my photos. And recently I've been feeling like even my photos aren't giving me joy. Taking my photos is causing me too much stress and it's just not bringing me joy. So I've just decided to stop it, and it's something that was on my mind for ages and ages and ages. Something that I really, really was umming and ahhing about for ages, and I was thinking, I guess that I knew in my heart of hearts that I should take a break. But it's really hard when you're so deep into something, and I've spent 3 years now practically obsessed with Instagram. I mean, there's been peaks and troughs of my obsession, and there's been times when I haven't cared, and there's been times when I've cared a lot more, and times when I've cared but haven't been putting the effort in, and times when I've put a whole bunch of effort into it. But maybe even longer than 3 years, to be honest, probably before Saskia was born, so probably 4 years now, Instagram has been a huge part of my life. And actually not a very positive part of my life for a lot of that. So I've decided to take a step back. I am going to think about what I really want. I'm going to just have some space. I think that I've definitely mentioned it before, but one of the things that I find the most stressful is stories. Photos have been causing me a bit more stress recently, but it's the stories. It's the trying to make every part of your life Instagrammable and perfect and all of these kinds of things. That just gets a bit much for me. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who do the whole real life kind of Instagram, and I am so there for it. I think that's brilliant, but it's just not it. If I try and do that, I end up deleting the stories, I end up archiving the posts, I end up just not feeling comfortable with it. So I'm definitely a much more sort of, I wouldn't say artistic, but I would never consider myself particularly artistic, but I guess that is what I want from Instagram, is the more artistic vibe, and it's just not within my grasp at the moment. It's just not something that I have the time to focus on. I don't have the equipment. I've been listening to this podcast recently and he makes a lot of sense. It's the Rob More Money podcast, and I really like it. There's some things that he says that I think that he's an asshole and a sexist bastard, to be honest. Sorry for the language. I was running yesterday and he was saying something about getting a cleaner to free up some of your wife's time, and I'm thinking, excuse me, but anyway, that's a total other subject, and he actually speaks a lot of sense. But what he said was that you can be an incredibly talented artist, but if you don't have the right materials, your work is always going to look budget. And it's so true, and I think that's where I'm at the moment, and that's why I need to take a step back from Instagram, is because I can't create the photos that I want because I do not have the things around me that I need to create the photos that I want, and that is fine, and I am at peace with that. I am perfectly happy with that, but it just means that my photos that I'm trying to take just don't live up to the standards that I've got, and there's nothing I can do about that except for spending more money, which just isn't an option. I definitely talked about it in my first vlog about how saving money is really important to me and something that I'm really working on this year, and I'm actually making really good progress. So we are in the middle of January now. I haven't done any shopping. I am so proud of myself. I have, where everything has closed because of lockdown, I have taken the money that I would have used for my horse riding and for my hair appointments, and I've used that to pay off some of my credit cards. So I'm almost paid off all my credit cards, which means that when my paycheck comes at the end of January, I will be able to finish paying off my credit cards and put money into savings. And I am so proud, because what I usually do is, by the time I've paid off my credit card, I've accrued credit for the next month and the next month, and so my credit card is usually around £300, but when it comes to it this month, it's going to be zero, and I am really proud of that. So that is something that, it's just not something that I'm willing to do at the moment, is to invest in my photography in that way. I used to use my Olympus pen, so I had an Olympus pen EPL 9, and a 45mm lens, which I loved. As in, I loved the lens. I hated that camera. I hated it so much. Sorry to any Olympus users, but I just find the colours really faded. I don't like the interface and the app. So I sold that and I bought my Canon G7X, which is what I'm doing this on. Because the G7X is a lot smaller, you don't have the different lenses, it's still a really great camera. So yeah, I sold my Olympus pen and I got this one. However, I do really want to learn more about photography. The G7X is a fantastic point and shoot camera. It's so good for just having out and about, taking photos of my family, taking videos like I mentioned last time. I've started doing that and we're having great fun doing it. But it doesn't have the functionality of a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You can't change the lenses, which means that it is a bit harder to have that more bespoke feature of the blurred background and the crisp lines and all of this kind of stuff. So I'm still getting to know my G7X again. I did have it before actually, and I sold it to get my pen, but now I'm back to the G7X and I don't think I'll move from Canon. But it is one thing that I want to do, is to save up to buy myself a DSLR and really learn photography. However, it's just not on my priorities at the moment. I've got my studies to do, my kids are still really young. I think that I just need to be at peace with what I have, and to do that I need to spend some time thinking about how my lifestyle can work around the photos that I want to take, the content that I want to produce on Instagram. Even when I go back to Instagram, which will probably be in mid-February, I am not going to be taking on any more collaborations because I've changed my mind, quite frankly. I decided towards the end of last year that I'd like to start working with brands again. I was seeing people on my Instagram working with brands. I was watching Lydia Millen, who I love by the way, and seeing her work with brands, and I thought actually it's really exciting opportunity to work with brands. I'd really love to produce content for brands, but it was a mistake. I hold my hands up, it was a mistake. I should have trusted my instincts and my gut, and the fact that as much as I like taking my photos, I don't like producing content for other people. It's not necessarily that I don't like producing content for other people, it's more that I don't like feeling that pressure. I don't like having to take a photo. I like wanting to take a photo, and it's very different. So I'm not going to be working with brands anymore when I do come back to Instagram. I don't really know how it's going to work. It's something that I need to sort of think about, but I think that it's really important that I take this time to just be in the moment, enjoy my life, take videos and photos if I want to, but just really work on my appreciation and not feeling like I have to prove something to everybody all the time. I've definitely rambled about this for so long now, haven't I? But I guess that maybe there's some people out there who are thinking, who have that feeling in the pit of their stomach that are like, I really want to take a break from Instagram, but that feel that they can't because they've invested so much of their time and energy on. And that is definitely a battle that I had, in that, what if I take a break from Instagram and decide I don't want to go back? And actually I don't need to have those answers yet. I mean, I'm sure I will go back, let's be honest. But at the moment, I am really just taking the time, and actually I have so much more time. I'm trying to get into some good habits, but I have started rewatching Call the Midwife, and I just love it so much. So yeah, studying isn't going as well as I hope, but I find it so hard to study. I just find it so hard. But what I'm trying to do, and it's the same as running and exercising, is just half an hour a day. So I'm saying to myself, right, Anna, you need to just do half an hour of studying a day. Because half an hour isn't that much, is it? Let's be honest. Half an hour is, I mean, sometimes I sit down and scroll on my phone for an hour and a half. So half an hour studying is just nothing, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? So I'm hoping to get into that habit. I think once you start doing half an hour a day, then you realise that actually I can do an hour a day, or some days you might carry on and do 2 hours, and then other days you might just think, I've done my half an hour, I'm done. But at least you're making small steps. My nan actually shared something on Facebook yesterday, and it's pretty, where's my phone? Let me see if I can find it, because it's pretty much what I live my life by. And I've just thought the words were lovely. Here you go. It said, my grandmother once gave me a tip. In difficult times, you move forward in small steps. Do what you have to do little by little. Don't think about the future or what may happen tomorrow. Wash the dishes, remove the dust, write a letter, make a soup. You see, you're advancing step by step. Take a step and stop. Rest a little. Praise yourself. Take another step, then another. You won't notice, but your steps will grow more and more, and the time will come when you can think about the future without crying. And that is pretty much exactly what I live my life by. I always say to myself, just do something. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something even on your to-do list, but just do something. Keep moving forward. And some days are definitely harder than others, but eventually you realise that actually you've got to the end of the week and you're a lot more on top of things than you thought you were, or you could have been. So I think I'll probably leave it there. Leave you with that little message of, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have these great plans. Don't even think about the future. Just take it moment by moment and just do something. So I'm sending you all loads of love and well wishes. I know that things are pretty hard at the moment, especially with the weather. It's just not the same as the lockdown earlier in the year, is it? It's so dreary and just a bit depressing. So be kind to yourself, look after yourself, talk to people if you need to talk to people. Be aware of the content that you are consuming and whether it is helping you or whether it is causing you extra stress. And yeah, just do something. And maybe that something could be subscribing to my YouTube channel. I said it in a funny voice because that's really awkward. And I complete joke. But yeah, if you did want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it and it would mean the world to me. So I'm going to say goodbye now and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.